We just heard John Lennon's demo of the song Bad to Me, segued into the UK #1 hit studio version by Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. As part of Beatle manager Brian Epstein's stable of stars, Billy J. Kramer was the recipient of numerous Lennon and McCartney compositions that wound up as big hits for him, like the aforementioned Bad to Me and I'll Keep You Satisfied and From a Window. He also had plenty of non-Beatle-related success as well, with songs like Little Children and Trains and Boats and Planes. And he's still recording and touring to this very day. In fact, he's going to be at the Fest For Beatles Fans next weekend, March 9th, 10th, and 11th at the Hyatt Regency on the Hudson in Jersey City. And we'll have some tickets to give away for that festival in just a little bit, but let me welcome Billy J. Kramer to the show.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to take you right back to the very beginning. I know that you were a contemporary of the Beatles and you played the same venues, but how did you come into contact with Brian Epstein?
Well, what happened was there was a popularity poll in Merseybeat, and I came third or joined second or something, and there was like a presentation night where there was a show at a place called Majestic Ballroom,
right
across the water from Liverpool. Everybody had to get up and do a few songs. And I think that's when Brian first saw me. John said to me, "You should go and check out that kid Billy Kramer. He's a good singer."
So he put in a good word for you. Well, John must have also had you in mind to record some of his songs because suddenly they were coming at you.
I don't know. Brian said to me, get this song together, we're going to go after a record deal. And the song was, Do You Want to Have a Secret?
Yeah.
I recorded it with George Martin. I thought it was just like a record test.
Right.
And I was shocked when he said he was going to release it. And it went to #1, which, I'll be honest with you, was a big surprise for me,
What did you think when you first started working with George Martin as your producer? Because he was just coming off the first success of the Beatles, so he was getting to be kind of a big deal.
Well, to start with, let's face it, what did I know about producers, you know what I mean?
Right, you're green coming in there, yeah.
I was green, I walked in and there was this very elegant man. I was this blue-collar kid from Liverpool, and I was a bit overwhelmed by it all, but it took a few records, and then I started, getting it together, At that time, I didn't really have a lot to say. I was just happy to be in the business and be doing something that I liked,
Sure. Well, you became a pop star pretty much overnight after that, and success in America was just around the corner, so you go from one nation of screaming girls to another nation of screaming girls. Were you able to enjoy any of that first flush of British invasion mania?
I'll be very honest with you. I was a very shy kid. I had low self-esteem. The only reason that I was the singer in the band was I had my guitar stolen, so it was either sing or leave the band,
Right.
I never saw myself as this, good-looking rock star type of thing, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I was very surprised when all that kind of thing happened because I thought, I wasn't hitting it off greatly with women beforehand.
Right.
What was all the fuss about,
Right.
And, basically, I just wanted to become a good singer and a good entertainer, which is what I've tried to do my whole career.
Billy, I want to talk about your big hit record, Little Children, because, the history books perceive that as you stepping away from the Lennon and McCartney songbook and trying to establish your own identity.
I'll tell you the truth. I'd done something nice at the London Palladium, and my record at the time was I'll Keep You Satisfied, which I thought was a good record. I was more comfortable in the studio. But the Palladium was it's like on a par with Ed Sullivan,
Right.
And believe it or not, when Brian told me he got me the Palladium, I said, I don't want to do it. I had this thing, that, I hadn't earned that position yet. It was
right.
A place for Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and people like Julie Garland, and I didn't do a very good show. I've got to be very honest with you. I was very nervous and I sang very badly. and how can you satisfy it when he went to number 3, which isn't bad.
Sure.
But at the time, I thought, I could have really find something special. And, I went round lots of publishers, and John and Paul came up with 3 songs, and I didn't think they had it. And I mean, the truth of the matter is that, John did say later that if I would have recorded them, it would have been a disaster for me, And I was in a place called Ryan, Sussex, England, staying in a friend's cottage, and I had 600 acetates with me. And one morning I got up and I played Little Children, and it was just more tune on piano. He didn't play very well, he didn't sing very well, but I just thought it had something about it that I thought it was a hit record. I found out recently, which was really surprised me when I was at Sirius Radio, that Little Children and Bad to Me were the highest entry ever in the history of Billboard. So it came in from nowhere to number 8. I was, shocked.
Sure. Well, after your initial success in the 60s, you continued to write and tour and perform, and that all culminates in the release of your latest album, I Won the Fight. Tell us about the road to get to that record.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I made a lot of records that didn't come to America, so when I came here, what happened was my contract with EMI ran out, and I was going to make records for Brian's label, but unfortunately Brian died.
Right.
And, I was in a situation where all I did was make independent productions myself,
Yeah.
And it was very costly, and it was, to me, I felt like I was walking a tightrope all the time, But it was something that, I wanted to do, something that I loved to do, I was like, I think I was also trying to prove to people that I wasn't just one-trick pony,
Right.
And but then I didn't bother for a lot. I came to America, and I just started doing live shows, and I was kind of like, I've been in this business a long time. Maybe I should buy a house and get something around me.
Right.
And then, I have this house in Santa Fe, and I came home one day and I said to my wife, I'm going to buy a new guitar. And she said, well, I bought you one over 20 years ago. You haven't touched it. And I said, well, I didn't like to tell you, but it's not very good. And I started going around guitar shops, which I'd never done in 30 years, and I bought myself a new guitar, and I went home, and the first thing I wrote the song To Liverpool With Love,
right.
Which was to try and help get Brian Epstein into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I thought, it's crazy,
Right.
And I wrote Liverpool With Love, and then I wrote a song called Sunsets of Santa Fe, and it just, that's all I was going to do, but one thing rolled into another. And there were songs that I did some covers that I wanted to do for many years, but never got around to it,
Right.
And then I was in the studio one day, and I said to Don Solenza, who I work with, I said, I got a bunch of songs here, but I need something to tie it together. And I wrote I Won the Fight,
Right.
And I was very pleased with the album. I was very, very, very pleased with the fans and the way they received it, and it did me a lot of good. I was able to go out and tour the United States again, and I went to England and did a big tour there. And since then, I recorded like an acoustic CD of my old hits,
Right.
But I also, later on down the road, I have another album which is all finished and ready to go, when I decide to, the time is right for it.
Right.
The thing I'm doing at the Fest is, I'm going to do a lot of songs like that were popular before it all happened, before the mania happened.
Right.
You know? And it's called Raw Influences.
I see.
And I've recorded, it's just, I did it very roughly for the fans, just so they'll have an insight. I'm going to be doing it with Ken Dashow, and we're going to talk about what was going on in England and the rock stars that were about. I'm going to play some of their songs, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us again. The Fest for Beatles Fans, March 9th, 10th, and 11th. And
right.
You can see Billy J. Kramer there. You can also go to his website, which is billyjkramer.com. There it is.
They'll be able to get I Won the Fight and, Raw Influences.
They can get them both. Thank you so much. Yep, go ahead.
And I'll be doing another show there with my band, where
Yes.
I'll be doing my old songs and also some of the songs from I Won the Fight.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I believe on Sunday. Again, Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.